Millionaire's terrifying secret, thought it was lost forever, reunited 23 years later, a heartwarming story. Have you ever met someone who thought he was dead, but then stood before you, alive and recovered? Please come back at the end of this video, in the comments section, to let us know what you think. Feel with this character and this emotional journey. The Chicago sky was gray on a winter day, and the biting cold seemed to add heaviness to Samuel Carter's shoulders. Wearing an expensive suit, he calmly walked into a popular restaurant in the suburbs of Chicago. Why would a millionaire like him come to such a humble place? Samuel has it all: money, fame, status. But he was tired. Today, he decided to leave flashy meeting rooms and luxurious restaurants to find a simple, close moment. Sometimes we have to go back to the simplest things, because that's what's real. Samuel sat down at a table near the window, his eyes lingering on the piles of snow scattered across the bustling street. He let out a breath, his mind wandering to old memories, until a figure walked forward. "Hello, may I offer you something to drink?" Easy to listen, high-pitched voice. Samuel looked up, and the whole thing seemed frozen. The tray in the waitress's hand, the sound of knives and forks clanging, the whole atmosphere felt like it was burning. "It's you, Lauren." That look. The dark blue eyes seemed to have penetrated his mind for 23 years. Although her face has wrinkles from time and her appearance has changed, it is her. "Lauren?" Samuel couldn't smell the ingot and almost mumbled. Her buds were almost inaudible. She looked at him for a long moment, eyes wide. "Do I know you?" Samuel was surprised. Her voice is still easy to hear, but there is ambiguity in it. "You really don't recognize me?" "Samuel here. Samuel Carter." Lauren looked at him, her face suddenly frozen like a tree being struck by lightning. Suddenly, the tray in her hand fell onto the table, the knife and fork collided, creating a clanking sound that seemed to shake the whole space. Samuel?" Samuel nodded, his eyes staring at Lauren telepathically. "It's me, Lauren. Do you know how many years I've been looking for you?" Lauren let out a tear that just appeared at the corner of her eye. She said, "I thought you were a dream." "Where are we, Samuel?" The story is not over yet. So what really happened to Lauren? Can this secret be revealed? Leave your opinion about this scene in the comments below. The memories are just the beginning. But what about the truth? What caused a life to be hidden for 23 years? The gray sky outside the restaurant window seemed to put more pressure on Samuel's chest. The look in Lauren's eyes had changed, no longer just shock or disbelief, but filled with fragile rays of hope. But for Samuel, all that does is create more questions. After a while, Samuel slowly said, "Lauren, what happened? How did you end up here? How did you get through that day?" Lauren shook her head, her eyes looking far away as if trying to escape the heavy memories. "I actually don't remember clearly anymore. There were people who saved me, but everything after that was erased." Samuel mulled over those words as puzzle pieces revealed a greater secret. But he was determined to get to the bottom of it. Allied meeting. The two decided to continue their conversation in a quiet cafe, away from the bustling restaurant. While Samuel squeezed his coffee cup to control his emotions, Lauren slowly recounted what she remembered. She was taken to a small hospital immediately after the accident, then taken elsewhere before she had recovered sufficiently. "I don't know why my father didn't look for me. I asked those people, but everyone said that the situation was too dangerous." Samuel recalls the name Anthony Whitman, Lauren's father, a powerful and conflicted politician. The relationship between Samuel and Anthony was rocky from the moment he and Lauren got together. But how could that father make such a perfect plan? Samuel knew it was time to call on an old friend experienced in finding the truth. "Jack, I need your help." Samuel called as soon as the meeting ended. "What's up?" Jack asked in a dry voice but still filled with curiosity. I want you to learn about Anthony Whitman. Everything he kept hidden, especially what happened to his daughter after the accident." Jack hesitated for a moment, his voice deeper. "I guess you're fighting a dangerous shark. Whitman is not an easy man to deal with." Samuel smiled faintly, but it was full of determination. "I know. But how can I sit still when all this is going upside down?" First trace. With the first clues Jack provided, Samuel began to piece together the details. Lauren was transported by private hospital ambulance immediately after the accident, and this was kept completely confidential. What he learned turned out to be another secret. Anthony Whitman blackmailed a hospital to keep quiet. Lauren listened to what Samuel told her, her face briefly expressing words. "Am I the cause? Do I look like an unwanted person?" Samuel looked at Lauren, determined. "No, you are the most important person in this story. We will find out the truth to the end." An unexpected encounter. When Samuel and Jack decide to delve deeper into the hospital's records, they discover a sealed document that can only be accessed with approval from above. Jack, with his experience in relationships, managed to sneak into a secret data warehouse. Blurred images from the surveillance camera system showed Lauren being taken away by a group of strangers, all wearing hospital uniforms but no name tags. Samuel clenched his fist as he watched the video. "We have to find out who they are. This is the key to everything." Meanwhile, Lauren received a strange call. A man's voice whispered over the phone, "Stop. Don't look anymore. You wouldn't want to know the truth." Lauren trembled, but didn't tell Samuel right away. She is afraid that the truth will destroy their newly reunited relationship. The climax is full of tension. Jack tracked down a name on the list of employees involved in Lauren's treatment after the accident. It was a doctor who quit his job immediately after the event. Samuel and Jack found him in a small town where he lived a quiet life. When confronted, the doctor didn't say much, but his eyes were full of fear. "I did what I had to do to protect my family," he said, his hand trembling on the coffee cup. Whitman was a man no one dared to oppose. "If he knew I said it, I wouldn't be alive." Samuel emphasized, "You don't have to do this alone. We just need to know the truth." The doctor sighed, then finally revealed, Lauren had been transferred at the direct request of a representative of Anthony Whitman. But the real reason, he did not know. "They just told me it was necessary to protect his reputation." A shocking discovery. Back in the city, Samuel received an envelope with no sender's name. Inside were photos of Lauren with an unknown man, apparently during the time she was missing. In one photo, Lauren is holding a baby boy. Samuel was stunned, questions filled his mind. Who is that boy? What did Lauren go through during that time? Lauren saw the photos and burst into tears. "I don't remember anything. But I know that child. He is my son." The story becomes more confusing than ever. Not only is Lauren missing, but she's carrying a much bigger secret. Samuel squeezed her hand. "We will find the truth, together. When destiny faces the truth, can people accept it or not?" Lauren sat by the window, looking distantly at the dry trees on the street. The photos in the anonymous envelope were still on the table. Whoever the sender was, but it was definitely someone who knew Lauren's past. The photo of her and a boy caused a stir. Samuel entered the room, his voice was as gentle as a promise. "We'll find out." He asked Jack to continue following the clues. "You won't have to face this alone anymore." Lauren looked at Samuel, in her eyes there was a conflict between hope and fear. "I'm not sure I'm ready." "Samuel, what if the truth is too painful?" Samuel sat down next to her, placing his hand on Lauren's shoulder. "I lost you once. Whatever the truth is, we will face it together." Clues continue. Jack recalled the documents he found. A person's name appeared again on the investigation list, Roy Benson, a paramedic who worked in the hospital where Lauren was transferred after the accident. Samuel decided to find Roy immediately. The meeting took place at a small bar in the suburbs. Roy is a middle-aged man, his eyes constantly wandering around as if waiting for someone to follow. When Samuel revealed his identity, Roy seemed scared. "You shouldn't touch this matter. Anthony Whitman is not an easy person to deal with." Samuel emphasized, "I just need to know the truth. Even though it's dangerous, I will face it." Roy sighed, but finally revealed, Lauren had been transferred by direct order from Anthony Whitman. He ordered absolute silence about this matter. Whitman is afraid this will affect his reputation. So I did. The climax ratchets up the tension. Samuel returned with the information he had just found. While he and Lauren still had time to process it, Samuel received an anonymous call. "Stop it, Mr. Carter. Otherwise, the only person you care about will never return." The voice on the phone hit Samuel like a sledgehammer in his mind. He remained calm, but that was for Lauren, who still didn't know what had just happened. "Who is there?" Lauren asked, sounding worried. Samuel looked at her, his voice calm, "Just a warning. We will deal with it later." But in his heart, he knew this was still just the beginning. The people out there clearly don't want the truth to come out. The truth revealed. Jack sends another important piece of the puzzle, a series of documents showing that Lauren lived for a period in an anonymous, heavily guarded location. The most important thing, the boy in that photo is Lauren's son. Lauren burst into tears when listening to Samuel's story. "I don't remember anything. But I can feel, it is my child." Samuel looked at her, placing his hand on her shoulder. "We will find it. We may not know everything, but I will never stop." A bold plan. Knowing that Anthony Whitman would not be exposed easily, Samuel and Jack decided to devise a plan to force him to face him. They used the collected documents to create pressure, contacting relationships in the press and politics to attract attention. Samuel knew that Anthony was a cautious person, but that also meant he would react strongly if he felt threatened. Meanwhile, Lauren is still dealing with fragmented memories returning. One night, she dreamed of a white room, the sound of children crying echoed. When she woke up, she told Samuel, her voice trembling, "I think that's where they kept me. Boy, it was there for me." Samuel held her hand, his eyes filled with determination. "We will find that place. Even if I have to dig up the past." Confrontation. Finally, through an anonymous source, Samuel and Jack identify a secret location where Anthony frequently visits. It was a heavily guarded suburban villa. They decided to take action, along with an investigative reporter to document the entire incident. When facing Anthony, Lauren stood before him, her voice shaking with emotion. "Why? Why did you do this to me?" Anthony looked at her, his eyes cold. "I only did what I had to do to protect my family and reputation." Samuel stepped up, his voice strong. "Protect your family? You separated a mother and her son, destroying her entire life because of your selfishness." Anthony, for once, said nothing. Samuel continued to emphasize, "We have collected all the evidence. And you won't be able to hide from this truth any longer." The ending opens up hope. With the evidence exposed, Anthony had no choice but to admit the truth. The boy in the photo, now a teenager, was reunited with Lauren. The moment Lauren hugged her son, tears welling in her eyes, was a touching scene. Samuel looked at them, relieved. This is just the beginning. We will rebuild everything, together. Lauren smiled through her tears and whispered, "Thank you, Samuel. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to make it." They step out of the darkness of the past, ready to face a future full of hope. The truth, though painful, brought them closer together than ever. Lauren and Samuel's story is not only a journey to find the truth but also a profound lesson in courage, forgiveness and love. After all the suffering and hurt, what we learn is the power of truth, the importance of love and compassion in healing and rebuilding lives. The truth, although difficult and painful, is still the only way to free people from the burdens of the past. Lauren and Samuel did not hesitate to face hidden secrets, and it was that determination that helped them find peace. Sometimes, we are afraid to face the truth because we worry about the consequences it brings, but only when we face it can we truly understand ourselves and those around us. Samuel's love for Lauren is a clear proof that sincere love can overcome all challenges. Whether facing a painful past or hidden conspiracies, Samuel is always by Lauren's side, a strong spiritual fulcrum to help her cope with broken memories. Love not only brings hope but is also a great source of motivation for people to overcome fear and find light in darkness. However, the story also reminds us that avoiding the truth is never the solution. Anthony Whitman chose to hide the truth out of fear, and that not only ruined the lives of those he loved but also caused him to lose his peace of mind. The truth can hurt, but it is also the key to healing. Forgiveness is another important lesson that this story leaves behind. Lauren, despite having to face the hurt from her past, chose to forgive. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, but is a way to free yourself from negative emotions, to focus on building a better future. Forgiveness not only brings peace to the hurt person but also opens up opportunities to reconnect and mend broken relationships. Ultimately, family and love are the foundation of healing. The moment Lauren and her son reunited is a strong demonstration that family is where people find the greatest strength to overcome all difficulties. Motherly love, no matter how long it is separated, is still an unbreakable bond. Lauren and Samuel's story reminds us that life is not without pain and challenges, but it is how we face them that shapes us. Let's live with honesty, courage and love, because only then can we overcome the darkness of the past and move towards a future full of hope. In any situation, truth and love will always be the guiding light for us to find ourselves, heal wounds and live a more meaningful life. Please leave your thoughts about this story in the comments section below, share if you find it meaningful, and don't forget to click like and subscribe to the channel to explore more interesting stories with us. Other inspiration. Thank you for following.